But the hearts in the women, they have a heart inside, are normal size. They're basically the same as the ones with the lungs. Those are life size. So don't forget all those hearts. Okay, now the lone heart set meaning, or heart on a stick, is the medium sized one that's in it, not this giant one with the next one. So what's the first part under giant heart? Cross it off. There are too many things coming in and out. I want those things. Apex, cross it off. I know it's a point now at the bottom, but anyway. I'm not going to do the base, I'm not going to do the apex. Then what? Cross that off, because it's occupied. Then? Get rid of the sulcus. No, get rid of it.
Oh, here, all of them.
Because it's occupied too. Okay, now we're ready for something. Ligamentum arteriosum should say, number?
13.
Okay, number 13. Now, this will sit on two separate stations. This part will be facing either way. Will be on its own, and then the big back part. The ligamentum arteriosum is this little white band up here. And this one, yeah, I can clearly read the number 13 still. The other one, I think it's the one that's rubbed off, because you guys have to do this. Don't do that. Point with a pointer and keep your hands off these, because you've already ruined them. So it looks like a 3, but remember it's just that guy right there. It's more white than anything, kind of a gray white, but anyway. What's next?
Right atrium. And then it's the right.
Just one thing at a time. So remember, it faces this way, this is my right side. That's the, okay. If I ask for what chamber is this, then it's either right ventricle, right atrium, left. Try that again. Right atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. That's the chamber. Otherwise, structure, I want parts. Now what?
Right auricular.
Right what?
Auricle?
Yeah, don't get carried away with the parts. The auricle is that flap right there. Big flap. Okay. So the number you probably want to look for, you got a 35, but you have it on the other side too, to the left. So you want 23. It's a big flap over the atrium on the right, and the left is going to be the one on the left. So that's the right auricle. Now what's next? What? Pectinate muscles. You go inside, and this, so you come from that auricle, and this rough blue area, there's no number, rough blue area, they attach it into that chamber. So you can hear me rub it. Doesn't make the same noise now. Because there's a bunch of them. Now what? When you get them, you just put rough blue area, you'll find out what you're talking about. Behind, inside the right atrium. No, the right atrium attaches the auricle to the atrium. Now what? Okay, first of all, you have arrows going away from that. The arrows need to come into it. The arrow direction is going the wrong way. Of those two parts, which is first, the right or the left?
Right.
Okay, so the right, it is the first one too. Brachiocephalic veins right here, and it's number 1. The left brachiocephalic vein is number 2. And 1 plus 2 equals 3 is the superior vena cava. The numbers are right there. They lead into it. That's why I'm saying the arrows go the wrong way. They come into it. It empties into the right atrium. We're doing the direction of blood flow right now. Then what's after that?
Inferior.
Inferior vena cava also flows in, and it's this bottom one from back here, and it's number 20. So my fingers will show through my thumb. You can wave at you, because there's a hole in it. Okay. It's behind the hole. Then what?
Coronary sinus.
The second number says.
I think it's 36.
36? Hang on, 30, well, hang on. Even though this one's older, it may have a number still. Like 6, 7, 3. Okay, so it's number 36. Almost looks like a 5 on this other one, but it's not. So it's this big blue one back here. It's draining the heart muscle going in. All of this has no oxygen. So they enter into the right atrium. Everything with no oxygen comes in. So the superior vena cava, because of the brachiocephalic, what's brachio mean? What does brachio mean? What's this thing? On his arm. Cephalic. Your head. Head arm. Drains your head and your arms. No oxygen. Inferior vena cava, the entire body. No oxygen. Coronary, sinus, drains the heart, no oxygen. All of them empty into the right atrium. What's the next part? Between the two atria, there's this wall. That's the interatrial septum. It means wall between between atria. Okay. 57. The other side won't have a number, but it's just the other side of the wall. Now what? I'm holding it by the fossa ovalis. That's how I'm literally holding it. My thumb and my finger are in it. So on this side, 54. It's almost worn off. And you can see a 55 on there too. Oh, can't tell any better on that one. So it's a little oval depression. Inside, both atria have it. On the left side, no number. The right has the number. Okay, now what?
Right ventricle.
What?
Right ventricle.
So the right ventricle remembers the chamber below the atrium. Then what?
Tricuspid valve.
The tricuspid valve is the valve that separates the atrium from the ventricle. The tricuspid valve, number 56, on both parts. This part too. So the deoxygenated blood means no oxygen, it's carbon dioxide. Flows from here into here, from the right atrium into the right ventricle. And then the valve flips shut so it doesn't just keep pouring. Then it can pump it out. But first we got parts inside either this view or this view. This view has some numbers, but not a lot. The other view has a few more numbers. Okay. Once you are inside a ventricle, it doesn't matter if it's left or right. Just they have the same parts of ventricles. So give me a part. After the tricuspid, give me a part. Chordae tendineae, literally heartstrings. The chordae tendineae are these little stringy guys that attach to that valve. They're still blue. And they are number 59. And they're attached to the papillary muscle, and that is number 58. And that comes up out of the trabecular carni, number 60. Rebecca Lee Carney's rough meat for me. Then what part? It's the septum between the two ventricles, and it is number 68. On this side, it's right in the middle. And on this view, there is no number, it's where my pinky is. It's that big broad band down there. Now, there is something else to know. When you look at the two where my fingers are on the sides, this is really thick, this is not. That automatically tells you this is the left side of your heart, left ventricle. The right ventricle not so heavily walled. Okay, does not have thick muscle. So when you're looking at it, that part would be literally like right out of your body, your left, your right. This is out of mine, my right, my left. But you look for the same thing, really thick, not thick. Right, left. Okay. It's like me facing you. Don't forget. What's the next part?
Pulmonary trunk.
The pulmonary trunk is this blue guy. So there's part of it here. You can see a big band of it right back here. And then it comes on it. It's the beginning of the pulmonary artery. What's pulmonary mean? So they're going to go to the lungs. There's no oxygen. It's pumping deoxygenated to the lungs to get it. So what's the next part?
Pulmonary.
Semilunar valve is down here, coming from this side only. Coming out of the left ventricle. And it's number 63. You see the little 3 half-moon cusps, semilunar. So there they are. Then it pumps the blood, it squeezes, and that opens and shoots the blood into the pulmonary trunk, which then branches to go to the left or right one. So what's the branch? What's next? Pulmonary, artery, left or right?
Right.
Oh, thank you. See, I think you know. So the right pulmonary artery, it already branches itself too. This one got cut before it branched. So the right pulmonary is 11, and the left is 12. Coming out of 10, 10, 11, and 12. Then what? First of all, we went and got oxygen. Now we're coming back. Okay, we're going to come back. So now you go into the left side of the heart. Left side of the heart. So it's your guys' left. So the left side, you have the left auricle, right? Correct? That's number 25. Still has a 35 on it, but 25 is the one, so it's the 35. Then you got pectinate muscle. Now it's the blue rough stuff over here, leading into the chin. Now what? The pulmonary veins bring oxygen back from the lungs. So you have the red guys in the back. This now facing this way to you guys is your left, your right. Okay, so it's your left, your right. Which one's first?
Left.
The left or number 19? And the right or number 18? And then they empty the oxygen into the right, oh sorry, the left atrium. And then it's going to get pumped into the, no, not into anything like that. It goes into the ventricle. I already told you where the interatrial septum was. It's the wall between the two. I don't need to repeat it. It's just the wall on the other side between the two. There's no left or right to it. It's just one wall. One wall. Then you go through a valve to get into the left ventricle. Bicuspid valve. The bicuspid is What's that? Yeah, number 67 on both sides. And then you repeat the same parts. The chordae tendon, you attach that. And they are still number 59. And the papillary muscle attaches those, and that's still, barely read it, 58, but it's there. And then that goes into the trabeculae carni, and that's still number 60. And the interventricular septum is still 68. If it's not numbered, it's on this side. Remember right middle. Then you're going to pump the blood into the aorta. The aorta is the big red guy coming up out of it. So I need a mark. Aortic simulator valve is 70. It's right there. Remember, the pulmonary is on this side, the aortic's right there. And now we're in the aorta, and it's got a bunch of parts. So what's the first part? The ascending aorta rises up. It's number 4.
40?
4.
Sorry.
Then what?
Right coronary artery.
Right and left coronaries. Okay. You can only see them if you open the heart. If you do not open the heart, you will not find them. Because they're sitting little tiny stumps right there. Both fingers. Okay. So the right is 43. And the left coronary artery is 44. Now, you got a bunch of parts coming out of the right. First of all, we're going to do them in a different order. So when you put, there's little pegs and little holes to put them in, get in the hole there. When you put them in there, there's a little piece way up tucked up under the auricle. And that's a little bitty piece of right coming there. There's a little more of it, but I'm not going to open it again right now. Then you track this red all the way back and down from behind. Okay. So that's coming out of the coronary artery, but it becomes different things based on the branch. So the first part, because we're going to go out, we're taking oxygen to the heart muscle so it can stay alive and contract. So coming from, do the other one, from the right coronary, what's the other one? The marginal is the first one. So it curves around and bends down in the back. It bends down and becomes posterior. But on its way, it's still marginal, and the marginal will be between, okay, not between, just 45. And it'll keep going. So I can only show you a part of it. This is it. This is the margin. It goes under, I mean the margin of the auricle, under the margin of the atrium, and curves around, and then bends down. That one that bends down there is the posterior interventricular. And then barely, you can kind of see the 46, below the 46, below the red below. Okay. Then on the left, so this little piece, there's no number, that little red piece is part of the right coronary artery. Said once I opened it there. Over here on the left, you've got the little stump down here where it says 44. And you got this little piece right there. And then it immediately branches. You'll see the branch. Okay. So it branches into the anterior interventricular number 49. And the circumflex, which is 50, past the 50. And as it comes around from under the auricle, that's 50, it also bends. Circumflex, around bend. Around and bends is what circumflex means. It goes around and bends. So it does all of that. Now, I have stents in my marginal, I have stents in my circumflex, and I've got 2 down my anterior ventricular. I'm loaded with some damn stents. I should have one in the back, but I don't. Okay? My heart was in really bad shape when I'm alive. I can recommend a doctor. He's not a real good doctor after the fact, but if you have a risk and somebody says it can't be done, go to him. Because they told him my heart was dead and there's no reason to do this, there was no flow, yada, yada, yada. He looked at him for a full day and a half and decided he could see something. And he went and fixed my heart. I was not a candidate for bypass. You have to have blood vessels to bypass. I didn't have big enough blood vessels to do anything. I asked my vascular surgeon if the blockages were all due to being diabetic, and he said, the blockages themselves, yes, he said, but if you were a normal person, you would not have had any blockages, total blockages as they were. He said, you have abnormally tiny blood vessels. So I have blood vessels about the size of about a 1-year-old kid would have. They're just that small to start with, so when they block, abnormal size. My grandfather didn't either, I got his genes. He died of severe coronary artery disease. I have it, they caught mine in time. I can tell you all kinds of crap. Okay, next part. Okay, the arch is the curve. So, between 5 and 9. So you go up with the ascending, then you curve. Coming out of the arch, you've got 3 parts. 3 big red guys. Brachiocephalic artery. You have 2 brachiocephalic veins, you have 1 artery. You have a left and right brachiocephalic vein, you just have 1 single artery, number 6. On the right-hand side, it will branch into these 2 that come out of the aorta on the left. It gives rise to the other ones on the right. These 2 come straight out of the aorta. So what's the next one? Common carotid, 7. And what's number 8? Left subclavian, your left. Left common carotid, left subclavian. Artery. Okay? Now, there should be something else on that page. Did we finish? No, we didn't. They're the conduction system, yeah. This heart shows it all. So there are some little green areas. There's a green spot up here. There's a green spot inside. And then you got some white bands and other stuff. Okay, so on the conduction system, and they're in order. What's the first part? Sinoatrial node, number 73. Do not call it the SA. I don't know what the hell South America is doing in this room. So if you put SA, that's South America. Sinoatrial node. And it leads into the atrioventricular node, number 74. No audio visual. AV, no. Atrioventricular. So it's the next little green bundle. Then you come to this little narrowing part right here, between the 2 ventricles. And that is going to be the bundle of His.
You want bundle of His, not the atrial?
No, bundle of His. It's a German name, H-I-S, capital H-I-S. So guess what its number is?
75. And you said you want capital H-I-S?
Yeah, because it's a name. And then you go into these white branches that come out down here just below it, through the interventricular septum. And these are the right and left bundle branches. So the right's on the right side, the left's on the left side. Okay. The right is number 76. The left is 77. And at the bottom, they branch into the Purkinje fibers. And I bet, sure enough, there's an arrow pointing on both of them. 78. They don't show on the other side. It's just that dark heart muscle color. Now we finish the giant heart. Now you guys have something to look at as I start the other parts. So I'm going to put this one. So the back